I can call the, to order the annual meeting of township electors. It's, now 6:31 on March 11, 2024. Start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll call to order now the, meeting of the Board of Electors as was voted in 2020, the 2020 election. I'll open the floor to public comments. Anybody would like to make a public comment? Going. All right, public comments are closed. Reports. We have 4 salary resolutions for the board, for the Board of Electors to vote on, I guess, right? And the first resolution is resolution 202401 for no adjustment to the clerk's salary at $23,500.
I'll read the salary paragraph. Be it resolved that this resolution is submitted to the electors at the annual meeting to be held on March 11, 2024, at which time the electors may modify these amounts. Pursuant to MCL 41.957, such modifications that may be made by the electors cannot result in a reduction of salary during the official's term of office unless the responsibilities and requirements of that office are diminished and the official agrees in writing to that reduction. In the event that the electors fail to act on this resolution, the officer shall be entitled to the salary as established in this resolution in accordance with the state law. So basically, the township board has approved that there be no change in the salaries, and we're presenting this to the electors for their approval, unless they want to raise the salary for some reason.
So is there a motion from someone in the public, please, to accept the resolution 2024-01 for no adjustment to the clerk's salary of $23,500?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next is resolution 2024-02 for no adjustment to the supervisor's salary of $14,500.
And that's also with the same paragraph,
Same.
that they can result in a salary increase, not a decrease.
Is there a motion to pass the resolution 2024-02? Yeah, you want to do the honors?
I'll do it.
Jeff moves. Is there a second?
Sure.
All right, move in second, we get everybody in here. And is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2024-03 for no adjustment to the treasurer's salary at $23,500. Is there a motion for the treasurer's salary? Brian?
Yeah.
Second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Same disclaimer as in the first two resolutions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now there's a resolution 2024-04 for no adjustment to the trustee's salary at $5,300 per year. Is there a move to a motion, Brenda?
Sure.
Moved by Brenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Jeff, Jeff's on almost every one. Good
Yeah,
job.
I'm all, yes.
And is there any discussion? This is also covered by the same clause that Denise read earlier. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The salary, the trustee salary is passed at the same level as before. There is no other official business to come before the annual meeting of township electors. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make.
Okay, Brenda? Jeff?
I'll second it.
All right, So all in favor of adjournment of the annual meeting of the Township Electors, say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
No.
I think something else they could have said was that they wanted more trustees, but
We don't have a population.
no, we don't have this large of population,
So
so.
we need to have.
There's only a couple things that they can.
Yeah, they give it up. So now we have to open the meeting of the Township Board of Trustees. It's 6:36, so we will now open the meeting for the Township Board of Trustees.
I mean, I would never.
We'll do the pledge. I like the pledge. We can pledge again. Brian, you want to lead us in our pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now I will, ask the, clerk to please call the roll.
Supervisor Serenius,
Here.
Treasurer Bowles. Trustee Gorky.
Here.
The clerk is also here and the trustee member is absent.
With notes, he told us.
Yes, he did, he sent us the items.
And, next is, call from the public. Are there any comments from the public?
Welcome back, Jeff.
Well, thank you. Good to be back.
You brought some Florida weather with you, thank you.
Yeah,
Sunshine.
totally responsible for this.
Yeah, good job. No other comments from the public, we'll go to public comment. Is there a motion to approve or somebody would like to revise the agenda? Motion to approve, is there a second? Second by Mike. Motion by Brenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting of February 12th, February 12th, 2024. Seconded by Mike. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All approved.
I want to thank Joyce for sitting in and taking minutes for me while I was.
Yeah. And then we now have we'll take the motion to pay the bills. Okay, Mark moved. Motion, Mike has made a motion, and I will second that motion to pay the bill. Any discussion on the bill? All in favor of moving of paying the bills, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Okay. We'll now open the public hearing for the budget for April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025. Denise has put a copy of all the subject headings in the budget on the back table. I'll pick one up, they're there. Any public comments on the budget?
I think the salient point for the electors is if you look at the fund balance, that is basically what we have in our savings account for that fund. The projected revenue are the taxes and revenue that we expect to take in, and the budgeted appropriations are what we plan to spend. And if you notice, you can see that we are under budget, sometimes right to the edge, as you can see in the general fund, we are $5 less than our revenue, our projected revenue. But that was our goal, to have a balanced budget. You'll see down a little bit further that we have some special budgeted projects, things that we thought were significant enough to pay out of our fund balance. We have an $80,000 for extra road projects, which are above and beyond the road projects that we have a 141.5. So, we threw some extra money in there for some things that Raz is going to get done. Boy Scout Playground, we've thrown in $35,000. And Woodard Launch Skid Pier, $35,000. That's, we want to pay for those out of fund balances. Basically, those are getting paid, the two smaller ones are getting paid out of our ARPA money. So, we have to allocate that for, in 2024 and spend it by 2025. So we're on track to do that. And then you can see the fire fund again. That's what our fund balance is. And you can see our revenues are more than our projected appropriations. And we broke down how much top and B fire department is budgeted at and how much East Mullett is. Liquor fund, you can see the fund balance on that, and the projected revenues and the appropriations. Now, those revenues come out of the general fund. Those are not raised by tax. Well, they're raised by taxes indirectly, putting in the general fund.
But it's not.
It's, it's not under tax, right? The light fund, you'll notice that's interesting because our fund balance is at 16,000. We only project $30 in revenue, which is interest on our fund balance, because we're gonna spend down the fund balance and then continue to pay the light fund out of the general fund. Those of you that live in the township know that we used to have an assessment for the lighting, which we've thrown out and we're gonna absorb that.
It was a lighting district. Which is good.
And you can see the last one, fund balance for the library is only at 5391. The projected revenues there, which include mostly money from the general fund, although they do have some, donations, they have some state aid, they get all of the penal fines. But you can see their revenue again is less than their budgeted amount. So you can see that your board worked pretty hard to have a balanced budget, to only spend for our day-to-day out of our projected revenue, and just to use our fund balances for special budget. This summarizes an 11-page budget, so nobody has to go through that line by line. Also, for your information, if you ever want to see how we're doing, you can go to the website under the budget category, and you can click on, I update the budget every month, so you can see exactly what the board gets every month, how much we have budgeted, how much we've spent, how much we have left. So it's very transparent.
I think that on that website, it's the same column we have, it's how about what percentage?
Yeah,
spent
what percentage we
through
use,
the year. So, the first month, you expect to be about 12% spent,
right?
and then it moves through the year.
Yeah, they'll tell you at the top, how much of the budget should be spent, and then you'll see off to the far right how much we have spent.
Sometimes it gets a little cattywampus because we're spending on a project and then it comes back and there's nothing for the future months.
Right, because like the roads will all get done probably in the fall and then
One
a
thing,
lot of money.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, I hope this makes it a little bit easier for the average elector to understand what our budget is.
this will also be posted on the bulletin
It
board.
has, it's been on the bulletin board since the board approved it
Okay,
in
so
January.
it's also on the bulletin board, east side and.
Yeah, both places.
Is there any public comment on the budget?
More questions?
You could just, quick one. On some of these things, like if you've got a lot of money sitting there, like for the fire fund, do you guys invest any of that money, or how does that get
They're
taken
in
care of?
CDs, most of it's in CDs, right?
Is it, okay,
And Brenda's found some, well, pretty, I mean, almost 5%.
Yep.
yeah, if you can get 5%, you're doing good.
Yeah.
So they're most, except for obviously we're gonna give, this year's tax in there, and so we'll have to look. Mike was talking about some tire replacements that are gonna be quite expensive, so I think for the beginning, we won't put that in the CD, we'll have to see what he thinks. Because if I tie it in the CD and.
Yeah, then you're stuck, yeah.
you're in trouble.
And I think he's also got one other thing that he's, a vote.
Oh, that's right.
You'll probably know more about that. That he might have to have money for, he thought it was gonna get donated, but anyway, so we won't tie it up until he finds out how much cash we have to come up.
I've got quite a bit going out for that.
Yeah,
So whatever comes in for the 2023, I will keep in the open account.
But what we have in fund balance, it's all invested, or the majority.
Pretty much,
Invested in CDs. And according to, everybody says now's the time to get them for a year, because after that, we're gonna go back down. We're never gonna hit that 18% that they tried to charge me, for
oh, there's a rating here, oh, the rating.
quite the thing. But onward and upward. Any other comments on the budget? So we have a resolution 2024-05. It's called the Mullett Township General Appropriations Act.
Basically, I'll read you the salient points. This resolution is known as the Mullett Township General Appropriations Act. The supervisor shall be the chief administrative officer and shall perform those duties. The clerk shall be the chief financial officer and shall perform those duties. We've also talked about our public hearing and the proposed budget being published. Then it has those same fund balances that I have on this sheet, so you can see what our projected fund balances are, our revenues and our expenses. And then it also tells you that the Mullett Township Board of Trustees adopted this 2024-25 fiscal year budget by cost center. Township officials responsible for expenditures may make transfers among the various line items in the cost center. Board should be notified of any transfers in various costs. So if we spend more than we should on turnout gear, we pull money out of repairs for trucks or whatever to balance the budget, but it all stays within the cost center. We never touch fire fund. Fire fund money never goes anyplace else because it's appropriated by law for the fire.
Yeah, fire fund money is separate. So
Right.
we only spend fire fund money on fire fund.
And then it says the fiscal officer shall transmit to the board at the end of each quarter a report of expenses. We actually report every month. But anyway, that's our Appropriations Act, and we need a motion offered by and seconded by and roll call.
I'll make a motion to accept. Moved by Mike, seconded by Brenda. Roll call vote, please.
Laz,
Aye.
Brenda, Mike,
Aye.
Brooke votes aye, and I have Brenda's absent. So the supervisor declares the motion carried,
Motion's carried.
and it's certified by the board. Excellent.
Okay. Now it's time to adjourn the public hearing. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Second, Brenda, second by Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing adjourned, and we're going to call the meeting back to order. Okay, time for reports. President's report.
Okay, just hitting the high points, general account is 756,000, fire fund 857,000, liquor 1,400, street 13,000, library 3,100, and then the tax amount. Like I said, that is an in and out account right now. It's showing in millions, and that's because tomorrow I will be doing final distribution to the county. So
what happens is for information for listening in on the video is that we are the collection agency for the taxes, and then we turn over the taxes to the county. They then turn around, disperse it back to us in a certain.
yes.
That's why there's a big account. And then Brenda takes all her hard work and gives it to them. And then it comes back.
Well, then she put some of it in the fire fund, some of it in the general.
Right.
Some of it in the.
Yeah.
And Jeff, just to hit on your one question, you can see on some of them, I did put CD on there so people know. So like under the fire department, if you start at the bottom, it says community fire CD. And then NBank, self-contained breathing apparatuses are both CDs, the one for 138, the one for 350. Let's see, trucks say that is a CD also, the 46. The two that aren't yet are because I was waiting for just the bank to get back to me. Are the 18,000 and the 1,000, but those are not huge accounts. But sooner or later, I would probably transfer those into one of the CDs. And then I did leave in 240, so that's an open savings, so we can withdraw out of that if he needs to. And then also, if you look at the top, we used to have, like, lack of a better term, called the schoolhouse account. And we had the $320,000. I closed that, and now it is in First Community Bank as a CD with a 320. So that's now also coming on. I also put
at Waken, I combined two small accounts that we had. We have to have $5 in there. Just a happy account.
You remember,
Yes, and then, so then I transferred the rest, that 144,000 to CD. So that's pretty much all of the big monies are in CDs now.
And we're getting about 5% of the moment.
Yeah.
Close. Yeah.
So give or take.
They come due like annually or?
Some of them are 6 months, some are 9 months. The year CDs, we're not as good. We're not up to 5. So most of them, I want to say there's 3 just offhand that were, the 9 months, and then I think the 2 or 6. I don't have anything under that.
And you just try and continually roll them over probably?
Yes. Depending on the rate, I might
Right.
change the term depending
You
on.
don't know if the rates are gonna go up or down, so you get to tie it up.
Well, yeah, you're right, yeah.
So that's where we stand, and as far as collections, we did pretty well. I mean, we were right on our target of 95%. Good. So I turn everything over to the county tomorrow, and I will not be second. They all go to the county.
but 95% of our taxes.
95.2 payments.
So those people who now have money that they say, oh, I forgot, they can no longer send it here, they have to send it to the county.
Well, if they send it here, I just forward an action, but, I mean, yes, I can always send it here, but I can't take it, I have to.
You can't possibly. Any questions from the treasurer? There's none. I have a motion to accept and file the treasurer's motion. I will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Moving now, the clerk's report.
There's a sheet for the public, and also the board has a complete copy of the budget. You can see we had $51,160 out of the general fund. Most of that was our transfers from the library into the liquor fund, the big ones to, when we moved the money from out of the general fund into other funds. Fire fund, we only spent $2,857 this month. The liquor fund is always at about $161. Streetlight fund $543, and the library fund $57.38, for a total of $60,462. Like I said, those aren't true expenditures because a big chunk of them were just money moved from the general account into the fund accounts of the library and the. So we're doing real well. You can see on the board members can see for 91% of the fiscal year completed. We're doing real well with the percentage of the budget used. You can see admin only used 79%. Well, you can look at the totals. I don't need to read them all, but we are well within our budget.
I'll accept the motion to. See if there's file the clerk's report. The motion. Moved by Brenda and then seconded by Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Couple more things from the clerk's office, just to keep you guys in the loop. We are going to have a consolidated election in May. Tuscarora is going to run it. We will be responsible to send out the absentee ballots, and you can take them back in, but everything will be, anybody who votes in person will vote in Tuscarora. The 80 ballots will be counted in Tuscarora. Decision because I think there are 9 townships that are going to be part of the Inland Lake School.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing I heard.
Yeah, this election is not, it's not for voting people into office, it's strictly for the.
I think it's
village
a
staff.
renewal, I believe. I don't think
Well,
they're even asking for
Right,
one.
but it's,
Yeah.
yes, that's a, village
Renewal.
renewal for Inland Lake School. So if you live in Mullett Township and you're in the Sheboygan School District, you don't vote.
Right, I don't vote at all.
You only vote if you live in Mullett Township, and Tuscarora is where Inland Lakes is, so it makes sense to count.
And they're the central location. There'll be 9 different townships feeding into that election. So they're going to run it. Which is We have about 800 and some inland lakes voters, so I was willing, of course, to have our election here. I thought that's enough people for us to run it, but, they decided that it was more efficient to have it all.
Anything else from the clerks? And the accountability statement.
As of 20 minutes ago.
I said to you,
I didn't mean to do it.
you're trying to be Johnny Carson, guy, who was- whatever his name was.
Any man?
No, the guy used to wear the turban.
Oh, China, yeah.
Yeah.
China.
All right, yeah. What is they always balance?
That's right.
All right, top of the fire department.
Yeah, he sent me, I guess, trying to read it pretty small, yeah. We have a class. I think he had 5 runs or 6 runs, one was mutual aid. It's been a structured fire, in trail actually. Then there was some power lines down, but all in all, it was pretty quiet for the month.
Then,
I don't
yeah.
think-
You can also give the East Mullett report if you want.
I got it here, but it says 0, so.
Not much to report.
Now,
Good.
Yeah, so I guess 2 runs in Burt, 3 runs in Mullett, and 1 mutual aid.
yeah.
What was the mutual aid?
If it's the same one I think about, the one up on Indian Trail, between,
Yes, for Indian Trail Road.
right, it was pretty much out by the time we got there, they had got it, he was in the crawl space or something, right, sure.
I think it's interesting, Brian, that we were 3 in Mullett and 2 in Burt, so Burt's getting their money's worth.
Well, it's normally,
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like one-sided, but it's not
no,
really.
it's not. We're pretty.
Especially when we used to do a lot more ambulance calls and ever since it's COVID and everything, you don't do as many, but. And the people are around, but I mean, it's pretty hand in hand,
Yeah.
really.
Any questions for the fire department?
Oh, one more thing I should report, I did pay the chiefs their stipend in the 1st of March, I'm paying the assistant chief his stipend on Thursday. So that'll be the last of our salaries for our fire department. Board of review is paid, and then we're pretty much done with our March, expenditures.
Wait and see, depending upon how adjustments go, maybe they have another.
Oh.
Because of the big changes, there's lots of,
Lots of questions.
lots of questions, and lots of moving pieces, so. Some may carry over into next year. Personally.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thanks for being here. And, military reports. Mike?
Yes, we're having our, meeting to the public on the last Wednesday of the month, I believe that's the 27th. We're presenting a budget, anybody who would like to attend is, welcome.
That's Oak Hill Cemetery.
Yes.
6 P.M. I found the other.
Yeah. We're getting real close to having our rules and ordinance updated. Once we do that, we will present it to all townships. Once they all agree, then it goes to Tim Arthur and will be published. So that's what we're doing there. The back half has been fenced in and we plan to have it, for lack of a better terms, landscaped or excavated so that we have all the scrub taken out, leave what few bushes or trees we want to leave, and basically start with a blank canvas. So that's what we've got going there. No report for the for Mullett one when the fiscal year starts. We've got another that meeting.
Next is the maintenance report.
Bird Trail, what is it? Bird Trail.
Tony said we're gonna have.
You guys know about the cemetery.
Cemetery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing on the cemetery. We're gonna have. Yeah, Carol up the money, but make an adjustment to the budget.
You told me that there was
Yeah.
$10,000
Yes.
should have paid.
That's something that would be an interim
Yeah, because we've got, like I said, lots of
Right.
people.
Yeah, good things. Tractor trailer.
Okay, we had our January meeting. Neither of the grants were accepted, so, we're moving forward with Mullett Township is going to fund paving of the west side. So they have approximately half a mile that they're gonna pave over there. They're continuing with their cleanup. The other project we have going is the Gorge parking lot. There's a lot of sand washout and stuff. We're looking at paving that and putting a culvert in to direct the water. It has to be coordinated with U of L because it is their property. So working on that. And the only other thing they got going, we'd like to put a trailhead in, and it's kind of dependent on what happens with the old general store. That topic has come up again. There is moving forward with the DNR funding that person to move and cleaning up that property. So,
Is that the general store that's on the corner, like in one of the Hopkins?
yep.
Okay,
Gas tank.
The gas tanks were removed. Some dirt was removed. They have monitoring wells, all over there, so they're watching that. There was, a dispute between what she thought was a fair price and what they offered. This was about a year and a half ago. She basically said, let's just forget this, but the topic's been reopened and they're looking at relocating her and cleaning up the property. If indeed that does happen, Bert would like to acquire that for the trail.
like the parking lot and everything.
Yeah, would be a parking lot, would be some signage, maps of where it is, where it goes,
That's very, very visible spot.
maybe a whole toilet, things like that.
Question from the trailer. Next is maintenance. Got a call into. Stop. Waiting for a return call from them.
Did you go online and just set up the, schedule or no?
So I called.
You might want to see if you can just see what the schedule is, because if we get it early enough, they'll do change on the card. If we don't get there early enough, the person will pop up and they won't even know.
Sometimes what I did with them was I would just schedule it and then I would meet with them, or Brenda would meet with them, or Dwayne would meet with them, and actually just, when they come, tell them what you want.
And I think if we did,
Yeah. That's what it's working, so working on this.
Because talking to them is almost impossible.
I'll go on. And then, regarding the other thing regarding maintenance, I'd like to hire Jody. She's, Wayne's wife. She's Wayne's wife. As an assistant to Wayne, working in the maintenance. She knows what's going on. She understands the job. She spoke with me. She also spoke with Judy. I had somebody else talk to me. Both agreed she'd be a good person to have. Good. But I'd like, if I need approval, I'd like approval tonight to hire Jody. With the job. Assistant.
And say, and $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Is her basic function to, fill in for, and Turtle when he's got another job,
He's got it.
or when he goes out and helps kids. I mean, I know he's had some.
Yes, she would do that along with, maybe they both might come at the same time. She'd do garbage, she'd do the restrooms and all that sort of. Work together. Not overworking the same job. Make a motion to hire Jody, $15 an hour. Is there a second? I'll second it. Seconded by Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
One other thing for maintenance, I requested from Wayne to get me a list of all the commodities, maintenance supplies. The idea is to get that list compiled, contact KSS, get the part numbers. So they'll have our list, we'll have our list. And then when things need to be ordered, well, I'll make a spreadsheet. You simply put a check mark or a quantity of how many. It'll be easier, to call in the orders, could be done by multiple people because we'll have all the information. And we'll have a heading on the top, you know, how much we want to get the free shipping. Once I get that information, I'll compile a list, get with them, get all the part numbers, and I'll double check with Joyce if there's anything specific she uses.
Wayne came in and went through her supplies.
Yeah.
Which, yes,
You know, and with Jody coming online, it'll just make it easier for them. So
That's Steve there, the KSS should be a good help for that too. He's the guy we always talk to. I think his name was Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be able to get you on part numbers.
Yeah, that's who I normally talk to.
Anything else in maintenance?
We did get the solar speed. both
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
So I will be getting the bill. We already got the bill for the installation and paper. We'll be getting the bill for the actual unit here soon. And then we'll submit it to the insurance, but it's all up and working.
Insurance program, something like
I believe they should.
that. I noticed,
Yeah, I have to be pleased.
Yeah. I noticed that it's just something I noticed. They've got it at a different angle and pointing sort of in a different direction, which may be much better for it, because I think the snow won't stick as much to it. It's a much.
I saw that too, and I wondered if maybe he was trying to get a better catch of the solar.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it made me think, well, maybe we should adjust the other one, at least the angle of it.
Yeah, that one is a lot more trees right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
I think about changing the angle to the sun, but just making it more
Oh,
vertical, so it
so-
doesn't, so we don't get the foot and a half of snow
Yeah,
that we get. So
it seemed to be pretty regular.
Yeah.
After the snow was covered.
we'll think about it, see what it takes, and just see what that would be. Maybe it's red. I, just something to keep.
You were very funny words in that.
I was.
Okay, appropriate laugh.
Uh,
I got a couple things later before you move on. First thing, I found a couple ceiling fans for the library. I know you already approved the money. Can I go ahead and order them?
Sure.
Okay, just do them.
As long as just show them to Mike and just make sure that they're for him to put them in that.
Okay.
Or were you-
Unless you were gonna put it in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to check my viewer, but
Yeah, I'm not too fine on electric up there.
That's pretty high up.
so just double check with Mike so that, you know, obviously you won't hit anything and it circulates, it has all those.
Yeah, well, these come with 3 different bars too, so I think you should be able to do that.
Okay,
Good.
And then, have you guys done anything with the tractor? We had another leak there last year.
no, we were waiting for, Brett never had time, so we never got together.
Okay.
Yeah. We need to do that.
Okay.
So you didn't take care of the sign for the. The things.
oh, yeah, I do know. I don't know, did you contact Michigan Lake Products too? Cause there's parts are, they don't,
No, I contacted Brian Wallace.
So we're gonna try to do a temporary fix while we're waiting for our, what do you call it, dots. And we're gonna try to do something. temporary.
Brett's working on that.
Okay. Yeah. I have heard a lot of complaints about the dot, and I said, hey. That's a lot of fun.
It's not taken out.
I don't have much sympathy because. When we're trying to, we got a solution that it will withstand any but he was back in to do it.
Plus it's a 40-foot summer. MTA, there was a good meeting, last meeting we had, Senator Moose come. Talked about a lot of things that were going on. They said, and Harold brought up a subject, there was a group of people that developed a petition, passed now called tax the tax, which would be trying to get rid of property taxes throughout the state of Michigan with no real way to replace the funds that you would lose by doing that, by getting rid of property tax plus. Something that maybe people didn't think about, but we certainly brought it up at the meeting. That if you're not a state resident, you have to pay property tax either. There's a lot of out-of-state people who have property in Michigan, especially areas like ours, and they would not be contributing. If they were kind of replaced with the sales tax, they could buy it for a few weekends to replace it. So there is a petition. We all buy it. So Bruce talked about some of the challenges of working in the Senate, being a majority party, trying to reach across the aisle, build relationships and make things work. So he's doing his best to do that. And so sometimes you can't get the legislation you want, but you can try and make it at least somewhat better for the constituents in your opinion. So he's trying to.
The other thing, there was another petition that is going around to work on updating the solar, wind, and the right of control. And what they're trying to do is get enough signatures, get it on the ballot to amend the previous vote to give us back some more of the control.
At one point, the state legislature voted that the state controls what goes where, things like that. So solar and windmills and things like that. So trying to get, and it's something MTA is definitely sponsoring, is involved with, trying to retain local control as much as possible. Because they're talking about doing the same thing with gravel. Target, they do the same thing with house.
Oh, yeah.
Short-term rental,
Yeah.
Airbnbs and things like that. You want to regulate it at the state level instead of allowing communities to do it. So trying to maintain. That was it. We had today. Any other questions? Any questions? Technology report, library report. Later, Jeff and Bridget came back. I had to be coming to chat with Judy about the fans. He said at one point, the thought was maybe not to go with the fans, but then I'm talking about, let's try a couple ones. So that's what Jeff came with the research to go out and look at fans. I know that Jeff, do you want to explain any more? Are these the fans that go in and out, or are these?
No, I looked at those ones that Judy came up with. Those, when the fins come out or the blades, they're just plastic. I think we want to go with they do make plastic and they do make wood. I don't know, maybe Mike get an opinion on, but I thought going with the wood ones versus plastic. I was reading up on them. Sounds like everybody likes the wood ones better.
Probably less bend and more airflow.
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, and I think it was they were quieter or something too. I don't think noise will ever be a problem there. It's high up.
One other thing with the library report, Judy has made contact with a lawyer for Mrs. Benson's estate. And she had a very unsatisfactory conversation with him. We know that the house has been sold for at least 10 months, probably longer. But he acted like, we get to it when he got to it kind of thing. But at least and I had called him, oh, maybe 6 months ago, just to remind him that the board was the contact, not Mrs. King, and the last bunch of letters that came were to Patty. So I want to make sure he knew that we were the contact. And, anyway, so Judy, I think Judy will stay on top of it. We'll make a couple calls. Because the house, I don't know what else there is to settle. I mean, the house has been settled at least 10 months ago, maybe longer.
It's right.
He's a local lawyer, and there's other local, I'm trying to remember, I do have a copy of the letter here. The Catawba Community Church is also a beneficiary, Eastern Star is a beneficiary, and then there's some people, we're one of 7 beneficiaries. So there are other people too that are, I don't know how aggressive the church would be, but.
Well, I think everybody would be interested in getting the funds.
But I looked back at the letter that we got, it was January 30th, 2020, when we got the 25,000. So that's been over 4 years. Judy's on it.
Okay, that's me. Also, what?
I'm on the council for the church over here,
Oh,
and we got a meeting tomorrow.
okay.
I'll ask him, I've never heard anything brought up about, I can ask him.
You know that you guys are also a beneficiary.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I'll ask him.
maybe with the change of having a new pastor and everything, it's kind of got lost in the shuffle that
Yeah,
they might not remember that they got some money coming.
We can
Right.
give you the employer's number.
Yeah, I got the name
Oh,
of
yeah.
the lawyer here.
churches can only use money.
Sure.
Where a person came.
Mhm.
Unfinished business roads. I had a meeting last week with Ruby, who is the one of the in-house engineers for the Sheboygan County Road Commission. And she called me, she wanted to show me the road on Old 27, where we have, that's the road that we contracted to do this year. And she was disappointed because even with the soft winter, the road didn't hold up very well. And so it did a couple of things. One, it confirmed that it's the right road to fix because period so much of the people with such a soft winter. But it also staying within the budget that we have. We're gonna have to do a little different kind of application. So we won't go over budget, but we will not be necessarily applying the same technique that you originally thought. But we will stay within the budget. It's the roads others I spoke with, both the supervisors at the meeting last Thursday. They asked about the gravel budget this year. Gave them numbers. They're excited to use that to fix things that they haven't been able to fix in the past in gravel. It won't all be 100%, but everything's still get demonstrably better because it has condition on it to work. And they always try to help us by finding something. Girls, any question on the roads? Road vote launch resolution.
I do have one other thing to tell you about that. I got a resolution from the county.
Yeah, well, the county's passed on to transfer jurisdiction officially.
This is odds, it's been in the paper for whatever 3 days it had to be in. And she sent me an email yesterday or today saying that she was transferring it to the register of deeds. So it's a done deal. We now have ownership of that. Brett also gave me and Mike has also one for his program. He gave me a sample resolution for the top boat launch improvements is what she's called it. And it's a development of a boat launch improvement at the top of the public boat launch. And she says, whereas the proposed application is supported by the community's 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan or current annual capital improvement plan, and whereas Mullett Township is hereby making a financial commitment to the project in the amount of 50,000 matching funds. Now, she's gone with an application for 150,000 or a total of 200,000 project cost, which we don't have any thoughts that it would be that much. But she said better go high than low. So we have to pass this resolution, 2024-06. And I'll read the last one. Be resolved that Mullett Township hereby authorizes submission of a recreation passport grant program application for 150,000, and further resolved to make available its financial obligation of 25%, which would be $50,000 of a total $200,000 project cost during the 25-26 fiscal year. And Brett said this is due April 1st. That's, I'm sure Mike's is also, that's what we have to make these this vote today. So we need a motion and a second, and then we have to have a roll call vote. I'll make the motion.
Second,
Okay.
by Brenda. Any further discussion? So just to make it clear, it's we can get to 50,000, and we're hoping to get another 150,000 for a project that will take care of the skid pier and any other adjustments that would cover.
And I'm assuming if we get, like, say, we would get 100,000, then we will be responsible for 25% of that, we could be 25.
And we can use that money for wherever, it's broad enough that we can use, say we need to put new stuff in the basin of the lake there.
Right, it would help us not only with the dock, but also with the cement padding or the dredging, or whatever else we have to do.
I think that's something.
Okay, so, last.
Aye.
Mike? Aye. Brenda? I will vote aye as well. Passes Brenda. Brenda passes. So then I will certify it and I will type it and get that over to, Becky, or Brett can give it back.
Anything more on the robot? Let's go. Mark?
Oh, there was one more thing that Brett told me, and you guys maybe got all that in the packet, is that there had been a lawsuit, and he thought maybe that's why the other board stopped. But the lawsuit has been resolved, and it's a right of way issue for, what was their name?
To the north.
Snyder, to the north.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, so all they have is a, place where they can kind of easement or right of way to get through the park. So he had no concerns anymore about proceeding after getting all that, going in all that information. Yeah, so he gave me a folder. I wanted me to give it to you if you wanted me to, or whatever. I'll give it to you tomorrow.
that completes the robots, next Boy Scout department.
Okay, to give you some general information before I get into Boy Scout specific. At last month's meeting, I talked about getting the MI grant account set up. I had been in contact, sent emails, phone calls. I could not get hold of anybody live. I left voicemail messages, sent emails, got Becky in the loop. She sent emails. It's getting down to crunch time. I spoke with Becky and she goes, well, we need to step this up because she needs to do her part. Finally, on Friday, I got Samantha Davis. I actually got hold of her live on the telephone and found out some information. Anybody who accesses this account under Mullett Township has to have a specific login. So Rachel at one time had a login. Nobody is able to use that other than her. Also, the person in Becky's position before her was a rider on it to submit grants. So we had that Adam person take it off, and Becky loaded. My account is now active, so she can now go in and submit these. So we found out, and unbeknownst to me, I thought it was a account that Denise could log into. We'll eventually get her a login, but you have to go in under your specific login to do any adjustments or add anything. Most of that, it's pretty much, we're not gonna really need to use it much. It's just the vehicle that we use to have these grants submitted with Becky writing them. It's
You
pretty,
know, that's why it's important that it's clerk at or trustee at, that we're using that we're using the logins that we're gonna pass on to whoever takes our position down the road.
Yeah.
So that, you know, if Rachel had set one up under clerk at Mullett Township, like, you know, then any clerk could have gotten it and just changed the password. And so that's why,
my login name is trustee two.
yeah, exactly. So any, the next trustee after you that inherits that password will be able to get in.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we were not even aware of her
Right, exactly.
login for this,
Exactly.
which if we would have, it probably would have speeded up the process
goodness.
because we would have known some information. So anyway, it's set up. She indicated she will be working on this starting next week. So she feels she's got enough time to get both these grants put in. So moving on to the Boy Scout Park one, we have a resolution, almost identical to the one for the boat launch, except that it's for Boy Scout Park. It's to put in the slide, the wood chips, and to repurpose the basketball pole and put in a net and a hoop up there. So she's gonna be moving with that. She
Well, it
was,
must be for all the other equipment too, because you went for 200,000 too, right?
she goes high.
Okay, this,
What we did is, that's what we were doing this year. For the following year, which is where the grant's coming in, we're going with multiple pieces of equipment, more, rubber wood chips and ADA access pads. Okay, so she went with the 200. We feel that that's, again, gonna cover what it should cost to put it in there. We apply for them, hopefully we get this and we can move forward with the final design. So that's where we're at there. So, hers is, for Boy Scout is the same thing, 200 total. Our 25% match would be 50,000. And then we need to, if you want to read it or take the roll call vote.
Yeah.
Pass it.
it's almost, now therefore be resolved that Mullett Township hereby authorizes the submission of recreation passport grant application. See, they're exactly the same thing, yeah. For 150,000 and further resolves to make available its financial obligation amount of $50,000 and 25% of the total $20,000 project cost. So we need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
You say? That's okay. Moved by Mike, second by Brenda. Read for the discussion. Same fiscal responsibility as the other one. All in favor?
Well, we gotta do the roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Laz,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Brenda? Was poor director is absent. He's missing out. Okay, so that'll be 2024-07. That'll be the resolution we need to do that. Oh, here's a copy of that resolution that I got from Sheboygan County Road Commission. It says that we're now a legal owners.
You know, there's one thing I think we left off under unfinished business, and that's why.
Yeah.
Let's tackle that with that.
Okay, I sent you guys an email with some pictures in the blank form. There is a piece of property up on the hill on, happened to be nailed on. There's a lot of stuff in the yard, a lot of different stuff. There's some boats, some cars, some kids' equipment, this, that, and another thing. I spoke with Josh. He's kind of on the fence about this. I reread the blight ordinance. There may be some blight. I spoke to him twice. He actually drove by and said to this deputy, he thinks the proper action at this moment is, let's give it a couple months. Let's see what happens with these boats. Let's let them get to spring or summer condition. review it again. And then come up with a conclusion whether we're gonna proceed with blight or not. The pictures are hard to really see it because I can't approach on their property and.
You don't know
zoom
if
in.
any of these are not licensed, because the cars are covered up.
And in the blight ordinance, boats, you can store boats over the winter. And that's added to the congestion out there. And are all those cars, maybe there's some other cars, it could be, relatives who have other pieces of property. I don't know that, I haven't contacted.
We can't tell whether they have license plates on.
Exactly, so his recommendation, what I agree with, is that we should let it review this again by the end of June, see what the condition of the property is in, we'll call it some Situate state. If we feel that it is still light, we can vote on it and proceed from there. Gives them a little bit of time to get the votes taken care of.
You're still licensed to really put in the work.
Yeah.
So we'll just table it until the June meeting.
And then also the light up on Numbers Road, I spoke to them. Again, there was one citation issued. The property was marginally cleaned up, the vehicle, the truck facing the wrong direction. That is not registered is still there. I made him aware of that. They were gonna review the property again and probably issue a second citation.
What property is that property in? Or another?
That is on Numbers Road. That was complaint N, which was a resubmittal from the original.
Questions on that conversation, discussion? David, maybe we want to do it in June or July?
When I spoke with Josh, I said, you know, let's get it till the end of June.
So it would be the July.
So July.
In July, just another thought about the roads that got, an email into the people who were approved to do the roads, the same people we used last year, Brian, not heard back from him, but the day I got the email, from the road commission. So I think we're on the list, but I'm gonna follow up.
Did you say the last week of June? You remember this?
So that's our request is for last week. We've done that the last 3 years. In order to,
Have everybody from the
yeah,
July.
everybody by the 4th of July, and Friday, hopefully. A lot of the spring rains are gone, we hope. Of course, now that I've said that, we'll probably realize that, and we have to put the fine down.
Of course, it would be one year, remember?
Yeah, I do. So what, we do that. Next is the hall rental policy, we talked about that at the last meeting, and Brett came up with some interesting concepts also. It's email.
Yeah, I made all this, so we can throw that in, and they can mix with everybody else.
There's a copy of new leads. And we can go point by point so we can get this done. It's on 2 pages right now because for ease of going through, but it would be 1 page back again.
So you left the amounts.
I left those blank because we need to decide. So those can either be, if they're different, Judy can fill them in, or if you want, I've got it saved, I can put the amount in that we decide. Everything else, if you look at the previous lease, is pretty close line by line. I've added a few things to, put in from the lease that you got from, I forget where it was. And then that's, but it's a combination of the 2 and shortened just a bit, so it'll still fit on that page. So if you want to go line by line and compare them, or if you just have any other questions, I think the main thing is we need to decide on the fees.
Well, I think we can be in agreement that we want it to be free for a memorial for a resident of Mullett Township who's passed away. And then it's also free for a 401(c)(3) organization based in Mullett Township, which includes our TDA and our fire department. I think we can, I'm in agreement with that. I shouldn't speak for all of us. Then we move down to the 501(c)(3) organization that's not based in Mullett Township. We still want to give them a deal. So you had 75 for that.
That's what we had talked about in our November meeting, that's what. All the pricing that I delivered was the pricing that came out in the November meeting, video.
Right. I think we were just talking to Judy and she gave some comments and concerns. And so I think, you know, we have to readjust.
It's okay to be aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they didn't pull them out of thin air.
No, well, I think if we could skip that one and jump down to number 4, I think that's the most significant one, the hall rental for a township resident.
I think too, also for Judy's concern was to try and limit the amount of different things, you know what I mean? Like, there are a lot here. So she wants it to be a little bit more precise, like there's only maybe 3 different prices and not there's like.
So the number 4, I think, I wasn't here at the February meeting.
Right, yeah, sure.
But I kind of feel like this township hall is funded by the taxes of Mullett Township residents. It's their hall. So I don't really want to monetize it. I just want to have enough money to cover what it costs us to rent it, which would be to cover the cleaning costs and to cover any damages. So I think $100 is enough for, I mean, I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think,
She's looking at.
I'll look at that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the one I kind of scribbled on the Brett, I put some notes with Brett. Brett thought $100,
Right.
and I think
Oh,
it is an increase over $45. So I kind of thought maybe 45 isn't enough to cover much it costs to have us. But 150 seems too much.
yeah, I think 100 would be better.
I think when we talked about it in November, I'm just trying to remember what we started, we could say up to a point. Because some people may leave it, and it hasn't happened often that I'm aware of. Some people can leave it very disheveled, and some people leave it very clean. So it was sort of floating depending upon how many hours.
Well, this was just the rental, not the
Not
security
not
deposit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This was just for the
Just for
rental.
the rental.
Oh,
And I mean, if we go to $100, we're still more than doubling. I mean, if you talk about sticker shock. I know you don't have, I know you just throwing, you were just trying to put something together for us.
I was taking, these were the
Yeah.
numbers that we agreed on in November, but I'm happy to change it.
I knew you would. I mean, I knew you'd be agreeable to this discussion. I just want to know what everybody else thinks. I just think it's their hall, they already paid, they really already paid for it, through their taxes. And we don't need to make any money off of it. We don't need to monetize it. We just need to cover our cleaning expenses.
But I think we could almost, if you read the lease, it says if there's any damages in it, but they have to cover the costs. So I think we can almost, I mean, as long as like, you have whoever it is, if it's Jody or Wayne or Bridget, they're coming before and after
And
the
you're-
rental.
And you're.
That's right, if they're coming before and after, then it's gonna be covered in the lease agreement, and we just say, hey, there's this damages, you have to pay for this, and this. I think,
But if we get $100 security deposit, then it just is. We just use that, we don't have to argue with them, but we can hand them the check back, we don't need cash, I mean.
So if we want to call it strictly security deposit or the community security deposit, we were also at one point trying to cover the cost of the community.
I think the hall rental is $100, and then the security deposit would be different.
Yeah.
With the security deposit. we do the thing.
No, in my mind, $100.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm just trying. to-
In my mind, I think the $100 is.
Yeah, that's what I mean, rental, that's what I mean by rental.
So the rental fee is for the space and includes.
Right.
Yes.
And a couple of things that we did talk to Judy about, and we should mention it to Bridget and to Andrea, who's ever talking to people, is I drove by here one day and they had the front door propped open. Because they didn't know how to unlock the door so that their guests could come in and out. So they stuck the wedgie of the living there.
Gotcha.
So we paid for it was in the winter, we paid for the heat bill for however long they were here. Because they didn't know, and I'm not surprised they didn't know how to unlock the door.
Unless you work in a commercial.
Right, how would they know it? So we need to make sure, I think, you gotta make sure somebody tells them how to do that.
Right.
Because we were keeping the outdoors for 4 or 5 hours.
That's why we didn't have the price.
So I don't know. Never once have we said to somebody, you need to pay. The only time we had one table damaged and we didn't catch it quick enough to charge them for it.
So that's what I'm saying, I don't even think we need to put a security deposit in there, because if something's damaged, it says in here that they have to cover.
And then just wait and call them up afterwards and say, hey, we see a broken table.
Well, they won't leave in the meantime, because they would catch it right then, who's ever walking through.
But can we guarantee that someone's gonna be available to check it when they?
Well, we have to make it, we have to
Yeah.
decide to do that.
3 people. Yeah,
Volunteer.
Jody, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Between the 3 of them should be.
So that should that be something in the lease that we say, you are required to call when you're ready to be done, call a number to have someone check you
Well,
out?
and we need to look at the times that we want to do this by.
Yeah, we already talked to Judy about it, she said the times are fine.
You would have to be over by 10 and ready for special by 11, that one that last.
Yeah,
week out there.
That is a change from previous.
It says 1 AM. That was supposed to be,
Are we gonna move it to the 10 and 11 that Glass has on this one, or did we change that to the?
I think if we can ask somebody to come and check. it all.
I know,
And after 10 o'clock, it's gonna be.
yeah. And really, we're not hosting those kind of parties. These are graduation parties, they're baby showers, they're not staying until 1 o'clock in the morning drinking parties.
so we want the time to be vacate the hall by 10. Stop, cease the music by 10.
Yeah, well, what do you guys? think?
Yeah.
Instead of 1 AM and midnight, yeah, because really, we're gonna have somebody check it.
Music at any age should be done by.
I'm just, I put 10 and 10.
Yeah.
And then I think we did put this in there.
So then if we're gonna only charge $100 for township residents. Then we can back up and say, okay, for nonprofits, do we wanna make it 50? Yeah. It's free for our nonprofits, but we're,
If he's fine.
I mean, I don't know.
They're not profits, right? They don't have, we want to allow them to put the money to where their benefit is, right? So. You want to make, 50 should cover the cost of cleaning.
Right, that's
We're
exactly.
trying to cover the cost of cleaning. I guess it depends, so as I start thinking about the nonprofits, for the party, could be more cleaning.
Most
Or
of them aren't holding parties, so I think most of them are holding training sessions.
I'm with you, but I'm just thinking if they're, you know, nonprofits have parties too, right? They have the fundraisers lots of times. They have people come to a site and they have a speaker maybe, and they have entertainment or something like that, and they charge so much per ticket for people to come in the door. they're using it as a fundraiser.
I
Some,
almost think to keep it simple, the nonprofits that are in our township are free, and the other ones pay the same prices as $100.
Okay.
Because they're not in our township.
I-
They can go to their township and have it for
We could
free.
do that, and then if you wanna do, what do you wanna do for non-township residents?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean not,
Not nonprofits,
so township residents get it for
100,
100. Nonprofits who are not in our township get it for 100.
right,
That would cover the cleaning and
Yes.
sort of the back.
Right.
Perfect,
Yeah.
I like that. And then for non-residents.
yeah,
Because we're gonna be the least expensive township hall,
we are.
even though we don't have the same kitchens and the same size as somebody else.
We're not as fancy, but
well, I think for a non-residents, we can, I have no problem to be down there. Because they're not paying up taxes here.
right, they are, it's not their township hall, right?
Okay,
So what do you think, Mike? Maybe the 250 or?
If I was to do this for ease of doing things, it would make it 100 and 200. It's just,
Easier.
I think it'd be easier on Judy. The other thing that we need to look at is what are we gonna do with the east side?
That's, yes, Brett mentioned that as well.
Because people are using it for unauthorized
Yeah,
gatherings,
Right.
we'll call it. And, that's not what it's intended for,
Right.
it's not authorized. We can make it available, it's not this size. It's been redone nicely, but you know, maybe our prices are half of what this is.
Right.
But the people on the east side will need to adhere to
well, we
that.
also have to get it clean.
Yeah.
They're the same expenses.
I think it should be exactly the same.
You know, so but not so much by pricing is that the policy needs to apply it,
Right,
and we need to start to enforce it.
right.
With the local people and make them aware,
Well, if they call John, they,
I think it's always been supposed to be the same policy, that we have no one to enforce them.
if
So
they call
maybe now
John,
we
John,
can.
John does what he wants to do.
So that's really on us. We have to figure out who's going to, because still it'd be the same thing over there. Who lets them in, who checks them when it's out.
Yeah,
So it'd be the same procedure over there.
now what we could do is ask, see if Joyce wanted to check him out, because she's close by. Maybe.
now, I had heard that
also.
that
they want to-
that some of the guys were getting together to watch sporting events and stuff as a gathering.
Right,
Some of the guys as being the fire
Fire.
guys,
fire,
we're not really gonna be able to stop. I mean, the firemen, how do you
yeah.
control that?
Well, the current TV is. I think that, yes, I'm guessing because they don't know tube TV, I don't think we have, but we do have a video service coming in, yeah, it's a piece of paper company. Sunrise.
Sunrise.
I think we get video service from them along with our internet service. And we might want to look in the future, switching our service to, PIMG, would be much better, faster service.
We're only paying $55 over there now, but that's nice.
Won't pay much more. I remember I tried to get them to give it to us for free.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be looking. We're trying.
Okay, so we're gonna go $100, free for a memorial, free for 501Cs in property, or a Mullett. $100 for 501Cs outside and $100 for township residents, and then Mike suggested 200 for non-residents.
No, and no cleaning deposits.
No cleaning deposits, but they will be told they'll be responsible for the event.
Yeah, that
That's
is,
the option.
that is in your office. The only thing I didn't put in, which I will on, item 5, I did not say, I just said to the same satisfaction of the letter, as far as the cleaning, I will put in there to be inspected before and after.
And then the last thing we need to decide, do you want to keep alcohol available? If we take that option out,
And we don't, do you know if anybody ever calls Ed to do it?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. Judy has a lot of them now. Now,
Some-
I'm sure a
some
certain
allow-
percent of them probably don't even say it, but they have it, I mean.
Right.
So,
But a lot of townships don't allow alcohol at all. For that, as we gathered our
Right.
comments from the town.
Last meeting, you had kind of mentioned, you know, you could, I don't think that feels the need to support himself on coming to the.
oh, right,
Yes, exactly. So we could just completely eliminate alcohol and take care of it.
I agree with you.
What's
Also thinking about what you first said about this, sort of the townships,
Yeah.
how people in the township.
How many people care about, I mean, does Bridget have any feedback that how many people care about the alcohol, not being able to have alcohol?
She's never really said to me. I didn't, in fact, I just found out about, was it Constable or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know we even had anybody like that.
yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about the price thing and that. And she did mention that, you know, somebody's drinking, that they need to call it.
Right, and they make that clear, and then of course they have to provide their insurance policy for that.
yeah, that's.
It's just their home insurance policy, which has to be brought.
There's requirements.
Yeah, it's just a, it's an entity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, I think that's important. We're gonna have to- we need to have-
So, I mean, we can decide if you guys can, I mean, some, whatever you guys think, if you don't wanna have it, we can talk about it, I have it. I'm open to either discussion. I mean, I don't think we've had any issues so
I don't
far.
think we had any issues with alcohol, that I know. We're not in,
I think two adults
and we're not in a residential
have,
area.
have an adult,
Bothered neighbors.
adult responsibilities. People who are renting to,
And we are covered.
yeah, and do we say that the person who actually signs these things has to be here? Probably, I don't know if you said that, we probably should make sure that that person's got some skin.
Well, it does say VC through all this, so, I mean, we don't say the VC has to be there, but we say
So that's what I'm
VC
just
is.
saying, somebody can't rent off a 21-year-old or 18-year-old, you know, be offsite.
Well,
Just-
I mean, if they have alcohol in here, they'd still have, they'd have to hire the constable or.
It has to be enforced.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
I just want to make sure. there's one.
yeah, no, we'll be, I'm sure they're fine.
All know. There's a will, there's a way.
And then, what I don't think we would list it on here, but we need to make people aware that they're not propping the back door to go out and smoke.
Yeah, again, that's gonna be whoever walking through.
Yeah, you know, when we do the initial,
I think we should also just probably list it.
Well, I think that's gonna be up to Judy and Bridget and Wayne to go through. I mean, obviously, we have the things that they need to check, but then they need to, you know, show them how the door works. That doesn't, that's
I
not.
think we had a lot of problems with those, that door and the door back by the bathroom being left unlocked.
Well, if you have the door back by the bathroom, it's unlocked, even if it's not.
Right, I know.
That's a problem.
I don't know, if spider guys are coming in and
I
like,
think, my guess is it's guys who maybe don't forget to unlock the door and they get stuck and they can't get back into the firehouse. So they go out that way, and they think the door is strong enough to lock on its own, but it doesn't. And you get
but when you check
stuck.
out, there's something else.
I don't think it's, anybody's trying to be.
No, I don't either, but somehow
It-
Joyce catches those unlocked a lot.
Well, yeah, actually, the door to the firehouse, often is left unlocked. So that's a problem. Somebody has to get in here, then they get into millions of dollars worth of equipment and the safety, that they can do some damage to the guy's safety.
I never found that unlocked.
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
I don't know the answer, but we could put a lock. We can't put a lock on automatic locks when you shut the door. Going that way, then they can't get back in, but they gotta go out the back, and they want to force them to do that.
Well, again, it's just a matter of the person who's letting him in and out. At least that way we know it's locked. After,
Maybe we should just draw up a list of it. We can, everyone, Judy and Andrea, girls, are gonna walk them through them.
Check off, right, off.
When we talk,
but that will be separate, that's something.
yeah, that's not
not-
part of this contract. That's an addendum to this.
So we're in agreement that we're not gonna ask for a deposit, we're just gonna tell them they're responsible to pay for damages. Because they could write a check and they'll leave their cash it.
Right, but then I think you just get into a whole big
Yeah,
mess.
yeah, yeah.
I'm comfortable either way. Want to require a deposit, that's fine. Sometimes the deposit makes people more a little more careful, but honest. Like the guy who's got the $150 deposit check,
Wants to get his money back.
and he's not gonna let somebody, you know, oh, look at George, he's doing something funny with the ceiling. What's the point of the ceiling? Get him out of there, you know?
It is a, I can tell you stories about, yeah,
I mean, if you want to just lower it, make it 100 and 100.
yeah, maybe $100 that they just, that would replace a broken table. Yeah.
Yes, I think,
And it might be an incentive for them to be careful.
and well, to supervise your own group, right?
Right.
And all security deposits will be the same.
Yes, I agree.
And the only one that doesn't get one would be for the memorial and our 501c3.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just do a, we won't call it excess cleaning, we'll just call it damage. Right?
It's called security.
Yeah, but it's
Security
called
deposit.
security deposit.
Period deposit. And if they give it in the form of a check, we can just either hand it back to them or tell them we'll go do that, whatever.
And if they do it in cash, we want to send them a check back so you have a record of it.
Yes.
Well, I didn't want to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I
So we have to have a check. Okay, well, then they have one check, that's fine. I agree.
Yeah.
Just,
Because then we don't have enough cash, we can just.
right, and, but when you give cash back, some people say, I know.
Yeah,
I-
And the smart thing might be that you can have, who's ever gonna check them out, keep the checks, and they can hand it right back, and it's okay.
yes, that's what should be done.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to. Yeah. That's. So we agreed on all the. Ones.
Yeah.
And is there any, because we changed the time, I have to add, checking before and after, number 5. Is there anything else we wanted to add or delete?
We're gonna keep the rider for alcohol, that thing we can have. And if they don't, they don't, I mean, you know,
But, well, if they don't,
if they're on their own,
and if they don't, then they get caught, well, then that's sure.
yeah. Well, we had a policy, they signed it, they would do it, so. On that.
They lose $100 at least.
So I don't, know, do we need a motion on this, or do we get?
Cure all appropriate licenses. Sometimes those things themselves sometimes require, that's not them to do.
Right.
And then I did add on there, with the alcohol. Going from the other, the police agreement, no beverages are allowed outside the township. Outside the building. So I will clarify, I just put township property.
You know, we could work on a list with Judy. They haven't checked on.
So you have a list for the person checking it. We could also have a list of items that we laminate and give to the people
Right.
who rent it.
Good idea.
This is what you're responsible for doing.
Check that the ovens are off, check that the cooler is on. check
Then
that
all
the
your
trash-
perishables
yeah,
are gone.
And here's the phone number that you call.
Right.
When you're ready to shut down.
Check that out.
Somebody will be here.
Right. And I suppose we could have the different phone numbers and then when they, whoever decides to be the one. certain phone
Right,
numbers.
or they can write it in.
Yeah,
Leave it blank.
and that could make them work that out of the library.
Yeah.
Or we.
And then I know you had said on the other one, added COVID, what I did is just on number 3, I added that they have to follow any laws, statutes, and then I said for the
Yep.
CDC.
That covers it. I think that was the spirit of the things.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need a motion to-
Like today is down at the very bottom, it's all of the things that could be damaged or that we need to check.
Oh, these.
I can put it from our
Okay.
previous lease.
Gotcha, okay, so that's a checklist. Check.
Yeah, some I do need to, like, their clocks, there's no clock. If they use, it's always if, you know, there's coffee pots, if they use it, the fire switch it, so it's just a broad.
And did we verify our seating capacity? Did Mike that was set up?
I believe it's 175, but I can change it to 150, that makes sense. I can up confirm, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as we're sure what it is.
I will confirm with Mike.
I mean. 175 people.
It wasn't, hey, that's a good idea. I think it was in the minutes. So I just wrote it down. $150 versus capacity. She's getting in minutes.
So I can make those few changes and then I will make that list. And then put it to bed next month.
Thank you, Chris. Then make our motion next month once everybody has it right.
And then, yeah, we have the actual in writing. And then I probably only have to make what? We can make, like, some leases. We have, no, three different prices.
Well, I think you're just gonna be legal, right?
All right, you know what I'm gonna do, is just to make it easy, so I'll make 3 different ones, we'll have 3.
Oh, good
You
idea.
know what I mean?
Otherwise, we can leave. Good. That's what.
Look for everybody. Current business. Any more on all of us in policy?
I've got, the story behind the Joyce called 6 painters. And, 5 of them are booked through, some of them have like a couple of months into 2025. So she's got one estimate, and she has done business with this guy before when she was a realtor, so she's gotten, she knows he's a good painter. So his estimate, you guys all had copies of, was $6,900.
And then there's
And it will include power washing. And that second time with the chemical strip to remove any nuisance, because it's really rough over there. Mask off entire building, prep all surfaces, paint the entire surface red, exterior with red, with industrial paint design for exterior metal siding. Paint the exterior trims white with an industrial paint design for exterior metal surfaces. Prep and paint outbuilding to next to the fire station, that's never been painted. And after 24 hours of drying, touch up all paint and we did, clean up the hallway, all trash and we related to the project. She found out that either, I don't know the directions, east and, anyway, 2 sides of the building have never been painted.
Correct, we were just out there because the furnace was not working and we reset it. I don't know if you know how to reset the furnace.
He's one show.
Okay, so we reset it, and then we're looking at it. The front part where the engines go, that part is in good shape, it doesn't really need to be painted. It's from, we'll call it the hall area back, that's what's flaking off. And then if you go around, the back is red, but the whole side facing the woods, I believe,
It's
is
still green,
the original
metal.
lime
Yeah.
green, faded,
Yeah,
whatever.
so he's gonna paint all the sides. And he wanted it trimmed, because there's trees that are over the
It should be
building.
cut back
Yeah,
10 feet from the building anyway.
right, so we got a quote on that from Mullett Lake Landscaping and Tree Service, which you guys, I sent you, for $2,000. And Joyce saw the monument, the property line. She says we've got room, but she's gonna call the neighbors and make sure tell them that we're gonna trim and see if they have an objection. Because some of the trees are on their property, but we better do the opening and stuff. So she can't think that they have any objection, but she said, we got at least 10 feet. One corner might only be 5 feet, but we've got room to trim this trim. So that puts us at 6,900 for the painting and 2,000 for the he'll remove the trees, trim the trees and remove the brush. Clean up and chip over.
And just like one question, it's gonna be the door also.
I'm assuming, yeah.
We can double check it, does say off trend.
So around the door in front, it's like an off-white color, that really needs the power wash sheets.
Everything.
And then it goes to the burnt red color.
Yeah, he's gonna do the fire firehouse red, and he's gonna do white. I think it'll be striking.
And I think the whole building is much better in its time.
We haven't done anything.
And I just was concerned with the roll-up door in the front of the firehouse.
Well, I'll
I
ask.
don't know if that's painful, and I don't remember specifically the color, but then you were pretty much. I think it would still look nice.
It's metal, right?
Yeah,
I don't know,
I would guess it would be. And the page, we're gonna try and paint from the outbuilding next fire.
Yeah. The other question I have is where the exhaust for the furnace is, there's that one spot where looks like,
It's why they put the new furnace in, because the old furnace was doing some stuff there.
Yeah. is he gonna is that included?
He
Probably
didn't mention it, but I would guess he acts like
Set it all, prep and paint.
all exterior trim and all, the home.
It sounds like it's.
Yeah, he's gonna power wash it twice, so,
It once with regular power wash and then it's into the wash.
yeah. The chemicals working. And Joyce was concerned that we seal the deal getting in before he gets another offer, and
Is the tree trimming guy available also?
yes, that's about like landscaping guy. You saw the bill for he finished the work on the Boy Scout project. I hope you guys get a chance to walk out there. It's just what we do. So, I guess,
When we have, that's, I don't think we should be okay.
I'll second.
And with double checking, of course, the door. I'm sure it is, but let's double check.
Yeah, just ask the couple questions that were covered or if we need
a
to.
door question mark, but I can't imagine he wouldn't make the door, he's doing all the trim and everything.
It sounds like I don't know if the stores are sometimes more difficult with different, like, trying to.
And I didn't think $6,900 was a bad price for the whole thing.
For the whole, the amount of prep
Yeah.
it's gotta do,
Right,
and
It's gonna take them longer to prep than.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not only that, just get out there.
Oh, yeah, so Brenda motion and Mike second.
Moved by Brenda, seconded by Mike, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Passes.
And I will have Joyce call the neighbors just as a courtesy
Yeah,
about the tree trimming.
Next is the Metro Act right of way permit extension,
Yes,
that's allowing.
I'll read it to you.
Okay.
This letter agreement which extends the visiting Metro Act permit issued by Mullett Township, Michigan Milk Company, which expires on June 30th, 2024. The extension is for a term to end on June 30th, 2028. So we've given them another 4 years to have it right away. Else.
Need a motion.
We need a motion for that. It looks like, I think probably one of us, either you or me, it doesn't say who has to sign it, just say by signature and then supervisor clerk will fill in, I guess. So it doesn't probably matter who signs it, but, one of us should sign it.
Well,
make the motion to extend the right of
Motion made. Second.
I'll second it.
Second by.
You're a loyal clerk.
Motion by Mike, second by Denise. Any further discussion, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Yes.
You want me to sign it or do you want to sign it? It's still having that. Oh, the contracts for, and I haven't, the contracts for, Cronin, Scott called me and he said his contract expires May 31st, which he thought was kind of odd since he's starting this cleanup and mowing, you know, in the spring. So he said for ease of pricing, why don't we do it April 1st? And I said, I'm fine with that.
Which coincides with our fiscal year.
Yes, exactly, perfect. So he didn't want a change in any of the prices, so of course, I knew we'd be happy with that. The prices have been since June 1st, 2021. It went through, so it was a 3-year contract. So that's the first thing we have to decide. We want to give him another 3-year contract. The only changes that he wanted was the Devereaux Lake Road end. He's always been doing that for free. And he said by the time this guy's unload all the equipment and mow it, it's too big a deal. And he didn't call me back with what the price would be on that, but
We should do that, period.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility. to
Right.
take care of that, but it's-
so whatever he charges us, I mean, he's been charging,
It's reasonable.
yeah.
He's been a reasonable vendor.
He already does several things of us at no charge. So like he doesn't build a parking lot at no charge, he does the township hall mowing at no charge. So anyway. And then I brought this up, he didn't even think of it, but I said, you're only charging us $100 to mow Boy Scout Park. And now we probably double the amount of grass to be mowed. Because we've got another whole section on both sides of the entranceway on the lake side. You know, the new stuff we just grassed in and then,
You'll have more trimming to do around, now that all of the
Yeah.
greens take it, that area.
he'll just add that to the quote. Now, he's been just doing everything at $100 per mow. Even if he raised it to $200 per mow, I can't imagine it would be online. So, I just wanted to run that by you guys.
When he mows out there, does he do it as every certain amount of weeks? Or is it as,
As needed, I think, so.
He's asked if we have a dry summer, he's not there as often. as if we have 1 3 4 homes.
So do we want to go 3 years? Do we want to go April 1st, 2024 to, guess that would be what, 27? March of 27. Sure. Okay, I mean, why not ceiling the prices for 3 more years? He's willing.
4 years.
He's willing. Okay, so, probably need a motion for that as well. I decided Brian Wallace's goes for the same period, but I decided he didn't mention it, and I thought, well, you know,
This season ends.
he's got to get the docks in. That could be, he'll have all the docks in by May 31st, so we could renew his contract after that. And I called him and he didn't call me back, so I thought, well,
So I think that's.
so we'll just
We
do,
decide we want to do it earlier.
yeah. So we'll just do Cronin's, and I'll make the motion that we renew his contract.
3 years, want to go to 4, see.
He's-
Good price.
that would take us to the next term, depending on. if it's- Oh, you want to go for 4 years?
I think we like the prices now.
Yeah.
We really like the prices.
Well, I mean, you can't have, the spring and fall cleanup at the ball field is $500 per. So I mean, these are reasonable prices.
if he's willing to go for,
Okay.
it's a no-brainer.
Mass special project.
Good idea. Good
We
idea.
just need to touch base with fire department. We've got some stuff that I don't necessarily know where you want to put it. We've got bars for chicken,
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. So if we can get that,
Yeah, Wayne cleaned up some of that.
yeah, if we get the rest of that stuff sort of stored away, then we can have it come and do it. It's supposed to be full a lot around all summer. And for next year, this apartment grows, you won't have to wait through. And corn, chicken roast. You won't have chicken dinner, wait through tons of leaves.
So anyway, I'll make the motion that we extend it for 4 years.
And if you want to stop, so I'll say.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Moved by Denise, second by.
Getting way into class.
It's been a long day.
Oh, I think that's a quarter of a year, yeah.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. And now we have participation in Sheboygan County Recreation.
Now, you guys should have all got copies of those. And, our park and rec plan goes through 2026. But just for consideration, we have Alola, Bogrand, Benton, Grant, Andrews, and Mackinac that participate in the Sheboygan County Rec Plan. You've been dealing with the rec plans now. Do you think it would be easier if we piggybacked on theirs? What's your thought?
I don't wanna get looped into something that's, like, for example, the blank thing. We got looped into that. Is it the best program? It's turning out maybe not,
Really?
you know.
Well, we have 2 more years on our own, I was going to be 26.
I think it's a different position than the blight. I think the blight we almost had to, because we have no way to enforce them.
We don't have.
Yeah, we have no, so.
Where if our rec plan goes for 2 more years. And we run ours for 2 years and re-up with them after that.
Well, they probably wouldn't do it again. This one was in 2016, so I don't know when it obviously expires. Or they wouldn't be doing it. So I don't know how long they'll go with it.
This the question is. These two, it's just sort of like local control, right? We still retain some, autonomy as to what we want to do. That's
Well,
not the way it works.
If you look at what they did, it looks like at the end, they had an appendix for each township. That told what they had in their township and what their goals were. So it acted like each township still did their own, but then piggybacking on the big one.
I can see where it might be helpful in some ways to have the weight of a whole county, when you go into grants and things. Or maybe even other people who want to donate something, don't have a specific township.
We would have to have somebody that would go to the meetings and represent us and then.
I mean, you're getting a lot of, when you look at their chart, you know, this they're steady, we have another whole board for that, I mean, that's a lot.
And it comes under the planning.
Yeah, I think we should, at least for the 2 years, stay on our own, and then, I mean, if we find that it's not helping, maybe then that's something we can look at. I really doubt that we wanted to join them and say no. You know, because they would just add, you know, what I mean, they could just cut it.
I just thought we shouldn't ignore it and
Oh, no, we should
we should respond.
Yeah.
Would you like to have consider April meeting?
I mean, I don't particularly, I just thought we shouldn't just let it go.
No, I agree. And
We should talk about it.
it sounds like we all have questions and as to what.
And they want us to make it.
Yeah, because they want us to get it.
Yeah, I know that if they're, you know, I'm pretty sure, my guess is that she wanted to say, yeah, let's talk about it during.
Was there any downside, Mike, when you made your, well, we don't know until we make
They're
our
gonna say there's no downside, I'm sure.
But I mean, did you find that you wished you had more to our rec plan when we went to apply for a grant? And loose ends in ours.
What she was saying is, as long as there's a rec plan on file and accepted, that's just one of the requirements
Okay.
to get the grant.
So
They don't go into the rec plan and nitpick it apart and then nitpick this, you know, it's like checking boxes off, that you've got all these things to apply for the grant.
I have a copy of Bert's rec plan. I mean, Jack will use that.
Yeah.
Get ours, and then ours, people, so good. I mean,
I think we should stay.
okay.
I would say stay on ours if they wanna make a presentation to us, you know, a 15-minute presentation. You know, for future consideration.
Well, we have to have somebody that we do from our board that we willing to go and
Yeah.
follow through all the meetings, and
Yeah.
it could be another big commitment for somebody on the board.
You know,
Getting involved.
they would have to sell me on why it's beneficial for us to join, right?
I think so, I think you're right.
Because, I mean, you know, we're doing fine without it.
Okay, then,
That's my perspective.
Okay, so let's just,
just let's pass, I'll say we'll pass.
thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
That's just plain this.
Hi, Jessica. No, you're good. We just realized you guys had a meeting because Mike is teaching and he didn't say anything. So.
Look at poor Brian sitting here being bored out of his skull.
That's all right. We're all good anyway.
Call to the public.
You want to ask Cronin to two things. They want to cut that lot up there once in a while in the summer.
Yeah, he was concerned about debris from the,
Oh, the one that comments on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does it once in a while.
we should be able to get our tracks.
We can if we get it fixed.
Yeah. We should be able to do it. I think we get it fixed.
Okay. And then the other thing, I was down at the beach today. That's gonna need some attention.
We need to bring some sand.
Well, you're gonna need sand and there's a lot of big boulders that got pushed up from the ice.
Okay.
It'd be nice to make that a little more user friendly to get in for the kids, you know?
Right.
I think it needs to be Rotortill too, you know.
That too, there's two spots where there's just big, huge, where grass has been growing. That should get rototilled and then more sand,
We don't have a road to it.
you know?
You can recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a rear tying one would be.
Yeah.
To get around one. I didn't know Cronin did anything like that. If they go out.
I'll call him. and ask him. He doesn't. He get out. Thank you, those are good points. Okay, any other comments? Other comments? If we stretch, we can get this into 8:30.
Hey, we did good about some of our.
Okay, board member comments, please.
Oh, I gave everybody instructions on how to fill out the petition, even what you have to do by April 23rd. So, and you have to file the leave by April 23rd, and then, I have till April 26th to verify your signatures. And then turn it into the contract.
Now it said 3 to 10.
Yeah.
Was there a minimum?
No more than 3 is the minimum, no more than 10.
Okay.
And if you're not sure if some of your signatures really reside, really are registered voters in Mullett, that's why people might get 5 to be safe.
Okay.
And I want to explain that to you. So.
I'm good.
I forgot to mention one thing. We did get 5 letters of recommendation for Boy Scout. We may get some others in.
We've got another one.
And I did send those to Becky. She was impressed that we got 5 letters of recommendation. She goes, that should help. And again, if they come in from some of our representatives. That may
Did you ask him?
Yeah, I guess small.
Okay.
They're little, yeah, I think they're right in their chain right now, but I have that communication with Brooklyn's office, so. And I'll call Cam first thing in the weekend and I'll hand it out. So, I have 2 comments. One, there's a veterans fair, the 21st of March. The Eagles need to register for information. Thank you. We need to put it on the website. It's also posted. Veterans Health Fair. It's also posted on for benefits fair. Also posted on bulletin board on both sides of the lake. And a quick update. The last meeting I mentioned my son's wrestler who's undefeated going into the state tournament. Unfortunately, he lost 1 match all year. And, when he lost that match, it dropped him into a different category, but he ended up in third place in the state of Texas. I think it's pretty darn good. And, the fellow he lost to someone that he had beaten twice that year. So in some ways, he thinks that he probably just had, according to everybody who saw it, a bad call. But anyhow, things happen and you move forward and you will be able to watch him play left offensive tackle for the Washington State football team. That's it for me. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. All in favor?
I think that's all miraculous things that we don't think by April.
I run to the bathroom now.
Maybe we should schedule bathroom breaks.
Yeah, no kidding. 5 minutes,
Well, that-
halt in action.